Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I decided to actually record some type of gameplay. I can only record VR gameplay, so if you get motion sick, just look away from the screen and listen to this like it's some type of podcast. And if you don't enjoy at least some type of background, I felt bad for just, making it just me standing in front of the camera. So I decided to stimulate your guys' mind while I do this. Anyways, moving on. Today's video will be a little bit more serious. I actually have two topics today. One of them, I do not know if I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure I can since this is for educational purposes. And the other one will be okay. So, starting off with our first topic, we're going to be talking about suicide, or self-harm. I put those both in the same category, even though one's a little worse than the other. My friend asked me just, to talk about it a little, and just, give my advice on it, give some motivation. So I just wanted to start off by saying if you're ever having any suicidal thoughts, or maybe, you're just in pain and you want it to end, or anything among those matters, I want you to just think about it for a second. Take time to think about the people around you, because you have people that love you no matter what, even if you're feeling alone at any moment in time. You have people to go talk to about your problems. If it's personal struggles or family struggles or friends or anything, I want you to go talk to anyone you can trust. And if you can't trust anyone, you could go see a licensed therapist. I was about to recommend BetterHelp.com, but I had to cut myself off there because I remembered, so they had a thing on them where their therapists weren't actually therapists, and a lot of times were actually scams. So if you do see an online therapist, please check backgrounds, check everything, make sure they're there for you and not there for the money. My recommendation for therapists is to make sure they care about the people that they give therapy to, instead of like making the $80 an hour and trying to reach that hour limit with you. But anyways, moving on from that. If you're feeling suicidal or you're just kind of sick of life, then I'd just talk to someone. If you don't have anyone to talk to, I'm here. Just, you want to talk in some way, put whatever way of communication you want to down in the comments. I will make sure I can get to you as soon as possible. If you ever just need someone to lean on, I'm here. Suicide's awful for everyone involved. Family, friends, including you. I have personal beliefs, and religious beliefs about suicide, but if you're just, an atheist, agnostic, whatever, I think suicide is a free way to get out of pain. I won't, hit you with any biblical stuff about it because some people don't want to hear it. If you kill yourself, that sounds awful, jeez. If you kill yourself and think it's a good way to get rid of pain, it will be for you, but you have to think about the others that will affect you, that you will affect. My bad. I'm not reading a script at all, so this is all coming off the top of the head. Going back to what I was saying, it will affect people around you, even if you don't think it will. You have, no matter what you believe, you could get in constant arguments with family or friends. You could have no friends at all. If you decide to end it all and do whatever you do, it will affect at least a group of people. It could be small, it could be big, but the numbers of how big the group shouldn't matter. as long as it affects them. You wouldn't want to burden someone else for the rest of their lives, because if you do it, they could think, they could have done something to stop it, or, it's their fault. You could even put that depression that you're feeling into them if you commit. And if you truly feel like you have no one, once again, I am someone. I am here for you. I will talk to you anytime. Even if you're a stranger, I am willing to get into some type of communication with you just to help you, just to get you through. I love everybody, even if I get into an argument with someone, we, get on each other's bad sides. I will always love and forgive people no matter what. Everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves to be forgiven. Because why should I be forgiven if I can't forgive anybody else? But once again, I'm not experienced enough to talk about suicide. I have dealt with some type of depression, even if it wasn't, the stereotypical one everybody goes through. I have dealt with at least a minor one, but I've never felt suicidal in my life, and I've never had a close enough friend that committed to truly know the pain of how it affects others. I've had people I know commit, and it hurt me knowing that, but I couldn't truly feel how the pain would be if a close friend did, and I wish I would never will. This one's, jeez. Before I move on to the next topic, I just wanted to say, on screen now, and in the link will have links in the description also, to the suicide helpline and other ways for you to get help. Please, if you feel any type of way that you're gonna get yourself into self-harm or suicide, I encourage you to reach out to someone. But that leads me into the next topic, which is still heavy, so I will not make light of it in any type of way, even though I'm a jokeful person. I like to lighten the mood. But this is serious, and I will keep it as serious as I can. From suicide, there's a symptom of self-harm, and even if it doesn't seem like a symptom at first, self-harm can eventually lead to suicide. And so if if you're doing self-harm, examples being, just slightly choking yourself, cutting, obviously, yourself, doing anything just to feel a little bit of pain to yourself, just because of a multitude of different reasons. I will obviously keep names hidden for privacy's sake. I have had a few friends that have dealt with self-harm. One of them I talked to, tried helping them get through it, and they did get through it eventually, but I will not take credit for, solving it. They obviously took matters into their own hand and told a trusted adult, which I plead you for I hate stuttering. I plead for you to go tell a trusted adult or a friend of this that could tell one of their trusted adults. The reason they did self-harm was because they never felt worthy enough. They didn't feel good enough. They never felt like they deserved anything. And so, in a way, it was them punishing themselves because they felt this type of way. Because they just felt like they weren't getting punished for how they were. And everybody has their flaws. Nobody's perfect. But you shouldn't be punished for something that you could fix or something that you can't control. Again, like suicide, I am not experienced enough to talk about it fully. This is just my personal advice for it. Same thing as suicide. Go to the helpline that I will have in the description. I encourage you to do it. If you're doing any type of self-harm, please go down there. I do not wish for another soul to die from suicide. But moving on from suicide and self-harm is a bit lighter of a topic, but still something that everyone struggles with and everyone has to deal with and has to overcome. My good friend, Caden, he wanted me to talk about peer pressure and how it can affect people and just, again, general advice on it. Nothing I say should be taken as, like, professional advice. This is just someone giving their point of view, someone that's just trying to help. But moving on, peer pressure is something everybody experiences. No one is immune to it. You experience it at least 100 times in a lifetime. Probably more than that. 100 is just like a bare minimum, and if you only experience it 100 times, I would consider you the luckiest person on earth. Peer pressure in a typical form, or the most stereotypical form I can think of, is someone trying to get you to take drugs or, smoke a cigarette or something. Obviously, we've all seen the videos if we're old enough to, be like stranger danger, all that. Someone comes up to you in a party, is like, hey kid, you should, take a cart. Sorry. And obviously you're told to say no. But peer pressure could get to you and being like, come on, that everybody else is doing it. You look around, everyone's taking a hit of Jack Daniels or something. Jack Daniels is always the default alcohol I go to, and I don't know why. Moving on. Peer pressure is really hard to get through. My phone just gave me a warning, saying it's at a certain percent, cutting me off. I'm so sorry. Peer pressure is really hard to get through, even if you think, all I have to say is no. Peer pressure is a thing that plays in your subconscious that subconsciously makes you think, maybe I should, because we all want to fit in. We all want to, look cool. We all want to be part of the crowd, be part of a group. And so peer pressure is a way to subconsciously get us to want to do something that we shouldn't do. Again, smoking, drinking, doing drugs, any of that, because it's what everybody else is doing. There's obviously more kid-friendlier examples I should play this hit game and spend $60 on it because that's what everybody else wants to do. Peer pressure is kind of like sheep herding, wandbagging. I'm so sorry for the cut again. For the past 2 minutes, I've been stumped on wandbagging, not knowing how to pronounce it, but knowing what I want to say. Bandwagoning. It's like a bandwagon, a tool of which you use to gather people onto a certain ideal, or idol, or anything. I don't know anymore. I want to cry. Moving on back to the serious topic of peer pressure, it's mainly a you thing to get rid of peer pressure. Obviously, if a friend's around you, they could snap you out of it being like, hey, no, don't do whatever that guy says, stick with me. But obviously, everyone's I can't speak today. My gosh. Everyone is able to get peer pressured in the same way. So it's mainly a fight within yourself on to get out of peer pressure. The best way I can recommend is to not put yourself in those situations to get peer pressured. And if you somehow manage to find yourself in those situations, get yourself out of it in any way possible. And every time a door closes, another one will open. You are never stuck in a place where you are. You are never stuck in an idea. You are never stuck anywhere. There's always an escape. That can also be linked back to the earlier topics of suicide. There's always another way. And that really is the true overview of the video of all that I've talked about. There's always another way to get through something. Suicide, there's another way to get past it. Self-harm, same thing, another way to get past it. For peer pressure, there's always another way. You are never, once again, you're never stuck where you are. And if you do ever fall for any type of peer pressuring, going back to the classic example of taking a cigarette, taking alcohol at a younger age than you should, taking drugs at a younger age, there's always a way out of it, even after you take it. Even after you take a hit, even after you take a drink, you can always back out at any moment. You shouldn't care what other people think, which I said this in a past video. You shouldn't care what people think about you, what you do. Be happy with yourself. Be happy for, your ideals. Be happy that you are you. Be happy that you are what God made you. Be happy that you are what you made yourself. Be happy with yourself. Love yourself. Self-love is one of the most important things to have. But I think I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'm so sorry if this advice really isn't satisfactory. If you wanted to talk on a more personal level, once again, I will have ways to contact me. If you want to contact me, put any way you want to down in the comment section. If you put your phone number in there for whatever reason, I do not recommend that. But if you do and I see it, once I am able to get that number, please delete your comment so nobody else can do it, so then you don't get scammed, so you don't have anything. But if there's any other way I can contact you, please do not put your phone number in a comment section of a random guy's video. I cannot stress that enough. But if you enjoyed this and you want more, please consider liking, subscribing. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, that was going to sound really wrong. Put it in the comment section or in any community post I make. I have notifications on, and I will see it eventually. Take care. I love you. Have a great morning, evening, or night, and I will see you again whenever I post. I'm on them antidepressants. We feeling good today. Maybe